All right, we just got done watching Lucha Underground episode 26, I do believe.
Correct.
Season 3, episode 26, so 3.26. He's Byron. I'm Mike.
Nope.
You are Byron. Unless you have a new name for yourself again.
Perhaps.
Well, would you like to share it with the people?
Nope. It's going to be a trivia game that people are going to have to play.
The play-along at-home game of Squared Circle Jerks. What is Byron's name? So, this episode opens up after, of course, the usual, recap video stuff with Jeremiah Crane versus Taya. And, you want to take this one? Because I believe you enjoyed this match.
I did enjoy this match. It was a good match. Not a whole lot to say other than they have great chemistry, they had a great match, and you should watch this match.
An interesting start with Crane charging Ty in the corner and Ty doing the damsel in distress, I suppose. No, stop, please, and then just slaps him. And it's pretty good because he just pump kicks her in response. I enjoyed that. It was a solid response. We also got a round the world cannonball on the wooden chairs from Jeremiah Crane, and the greatest nut shot ever with Crane eating a big boot to the testicles. That was pretty good. In the end, Jeremiah Crane gets the win with the cranial contusion, partially due to a distraction from Sexy Star in the crowd. Sexy Star comes in the ring afterwards, and after taunting Taya for a bit, smashes her with the brass knucks, continuing the storyline that Taya brought the brass knucks down during Sexy Star's match with PJ Black. So, good continuation to that storyline, although I will probably not enjoy a Taya Sexy Star match nearly as much as I would enjoy Taya working with anyone else on the roster?
Pretty much, yeah. And those brass knuckles looked like they might actually be made from brass, not like the original ones, which were obviously just kind of cheap, coppery-looking plastic.
Yep, so that's an improvement as well. Crane goes on in the tournament to the final 8, which is good because I'm a mark for Sami Callihan. Just saying that right now. And that's always good to see good things happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
Taya is one of the few women that I actively enjoy seeing her wrestle with the men. Part of it is that she's a little bit larger than some of the other girls. Not like Nia Jax or Tamina sized, but bigger. And she really can work at their pace. Because, for example, with this match, Jeremiah Crane, aka Sami Callihan, is one of, if not the fastest workers, pace-wise, in really any company he's in. And she kept up with him really effectively. And traded, it looked legit. And that's something that never happens with, like, Sexy Star, for example.
No, they always have to slow down every aspect of everything. If anybody's not watching Lucha Underground, just watch NXT this week. You'll see how women are... Not women, but how a women's match can be done very slowly, and you'll have kind of a good idea if you don't want to go back and watch all of the Sexy Star stuff.
Pretty much. I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen NXT yet.
Yeah, Bio's not refused to watch NXT and or 205 Live. It's kind of weird.
I'm watching them tomorrow. Jesus.
A likely story.
I was busy today.
I don't to believe you.
Then we had a Phoenix and Aerostar backstage deal. They're giving Aerostar a little more character, which is good. Basically, a time-traveling gimmick.
It only took him 3 seasons.
They're just letting him talk more and actually cut promos and stuff, which he's not bad at, so I don't know why it took that long.
I don't know. Apparently, I can't remember who it was, I heard somebody mention that Arhennis is actually an excellent wrestler. I have zero proof of this. Yeah,
well, in the case of Arhennis, he's out there just a job, so there's no reason why we would ever really particularly have that proof. He's not really he's not really supposed to shine. He's a jobber.
Well, that's just
Aerostar is a bit of a different. Aerostar is a bit of a different thing because Aerostar kind of supposed to be a star and still hasn't convinced me that he's a very good wrestler.
Yeah, but if Arhennis is supposed to be this excellent wrestler that everybody on the Mexican scene knows all about, how hasn't any of that, none of that's translated onto Lucha Underground? None of it at all. Even Famous B looked good in the ring, but Arhennis not so much.
I I mean, I'm saying Famous B looks better, I think, that's a stretch.
Oh.
It's not great. Not great. Then we move on to Mil Muertes versus Paul London. This match started off being not a particularly great in-ring match, but the psychology, the weirdness, let's be honest, the chemical abuse that is in that ring made up for it. But by the end, they actually really had found a chemistry and were starting to really bring out some good hard-hitting stuff, some good spots, some good moves, etc. That was pretty lacking in the first, I'd say, 4 minutes of the match. But they definitely found their feet.
Yeah, I enjoyed Paul London. Paul London knows his way around the ring. He knows what he's doing. Is it Jeff Cobb that's Mil Muertes?
No. Jeff Cobb is Matanza.
Okay.
Mil Muertes is Ricky Banderas.
Okay, who I have never seen wrestle outside of being Mil Muertes, but I understand.
I've actually never seen him as Ricky Banderas. I've seen him as Judas Macias in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I heard about that. I have seen one brief clip of him crawling out from underneath the ring once. That's all I have to go on that one. But it's pretty obvious that Paul London is the better, more experienced wrestler here, and that kind of came forward throughout the entirety of the match.
Yep. Good stuff, though. Typical power man versus fast guy stuff, for the most part, although with heavy drug induction. We got the White Rabbits interfering on behalf of Paul London. They came out originally and then broke up the count while Paul London was doing the most epic super kick party of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He literally, I think, super kicked Mil Muertes halfway around the ring on the outside. It was a thing. I mean, at the same time, I can't really buy Paul London ever finishing someone with a super kick now, but it's still good. Good.
Well, it's Mil Muertes. You're not supposed to be able to finish that guy.
Well, I was going to get to that. Mil Muertes did eat 2 shooting star presses for near falls, which I would be really mad in any other promotion except for The Undertaker, like doing it in WWE. Mm-hmm. But Mil is established as this undead force of nature almost. I would still say that it taxed it a little bit for me, but you can get away with it when you're. It's kind of Lucha Underground's greatest saving grace is that you can get away with all kinds of stuff that a regular promotion just can't because of the spooky sci-fi, fantasy, undead nature of a lot of the storytelling.
That is correct. Yeah, and they do one thing that they do well compared to a lot of other places is they actually go out of their way to protect the gimmicks of the wrestlers. So you can buy that Mil Muertes is just not going to be finishable by Paul London, even though, by the end of the match you were like, I guess I could probably speak for you that, everybody's really pulling for Paul London. Like, holy shit, he might win. Holy shit.
I'm always pulling for Paul London. I also like the references to the Please Don't Die stuff from ROH, courtesy of Matt Stryker, doing a fantastic job on commentary.
Who also referenced the Jumping Angel Bombs as well, which was cool.
Indeed.
But, it's pretty good the way that I like the way that they protect everybody's gimmick and they allow for, but, there's been precedent, like, Mil Muertes has been beat before by your king and mine, Ricochet, and so
also
there's
Phoenix,
always
that's pretty much about it.
So there's always a chance that you're going to see some new, like maybe they're going to try and push a new big face, and to do that, they usually give them a win over your boy Ricky Macias.
Mm-hmm. So that was good, and that sets up Jeremiah Crane versus Mil Muertes the next round, so we'll get a continuation of that storyline.
Oh my god, they're using storylines to tell things. I like it. It's good.
Well, that's the thing, is they're also using like a tournament at various different points to tell storylines, which is kind of cool. Like, they didn't do what WWE would probably do, which is stick all the storylines in the first round and then run out. They're making you wonder, because they are doing some face versus face stuff and some heel versus heel stuff throughout this tournament. That makes it like, so it's you're not like, well, the heel's waiting for the winner of this matchup, so it's clearly going to be the face that wins. We're not really getting that, which is very nice.
the one thing that they are actually doing really well is they're not showing you the whole bracket. I mean, you could totally track down the whole bracket online.
Oh, totally. I've got the whole bracket right here.
Exactly, but I myself not done that. So I don't know, because all they do on the TV shows, they show you extreme close-ups of aspects of the bracket. So unless you got one of them photogenic memories, you just or are really hardcore paying attention or taking notes, you're not really paying attention to or informed by what each match might lead to. So when they announced, oh yeah, Mil Muertes is going to be up against Sami Cranahan in the next round, I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. As opposed to, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Also, they're kind of also using stories to take people out of the tournament, like Sexy Star and Taya. Perfect example of that. Mm-hmm. We're not getting a culmination of that feud within the tournament itself. It's going to take place outside the tournament, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
So then we went to a bar promo thing with Tejano and the beautiful Brenda.
See.
The beautiful Brenda wants a drink. Tejano orders tequilas for them. She gets tipsy. She says something about the truth coming out. When she gets dizzy. My thing was, I think you're just always dizzy, but okay.
Correct.
Anyway, she thinks that Tejano is dull, which he takes very offensively. Even destroys the shot glass in his bare hand.
I thought it was a beer bottle.
Was it a beer bottle?
I think so.
Okay. He broke something of a glass nature in his bare hand. And she just says he needs a woman's touch. Like he's an ass kicker. He's got a blue collar. He's a blue collar brawler, but he needs something else. And you see,
he needs a scarf.
You see Favis B in the background, lassoing him and pulling him in. So
you know what he needs is he needs a scarf and a list.
That too. That being said, this storyline I really didn't have any expectations for, to be honest. I enjoy the comic relief of Famous B, but I'm not expecting like great storylines out of it. But this is becoming pretty good, actually. It's really starting to turn a corner and actually be pretty solid.
I do enjoy the out-of-ring work of the Famous B. He seems to be developing into quite the personality. Whether you want to see him wrestle, want to see him get his ass kicked, want to just see him talk on camera, want to see him cut a promo. I mean, that's all. It's all It's seeming like it's coming together for him. Or maybe he's just got a really great director. Or maybe they just let him do like 93 takes. I don't know.
Anyways, yeah, doing a fantastic job. Then we get to the main event of the evening, which was the highlight of the evening, but also the low light of the evening too, which is a bit strange. You want to take this one?
Are you talking about Norman Tugwater? Because it sounded like you're cutting a Norman Tugwater promo.
Maybe. I mean, Norman Tugwater does very much make the basis of my personality.
This was the highlight of the evening, but it was also the low light, which made it the only light. Or it was the only light, so they made it the low light as well.
Parts of it were very good. Parts of it, and the ending was not fantastic. Is what I'm getting at.
What, dude? This whole thing was fantastic from beginning to end. So you had the Undertaker came out, and he had a match with Giant Baba, and
no, it's Marty the Moth Martinez versus Phoenix.
Oh, is that? Did I miss that? No, I'm just kidding.
Take it.
Again, really good match, but yeah, the finish took. We can talk about different parts of the match, but I'd rather just talk about the finish, which they gave Phoenix the win, but then he got the shit kicked out of him afterwards and got stabbed in the head with a fork repeatedly over and over and over and over. And it took a long time, and they stayed in close-up a long time, and it just, actually, for a while, it was violent, and it was like, that's gonna hurt. Oh, damn, son. Now I'm like really this is taking a long time. I'm uncomfortable. This is unpleasant to watch. And then they kept going, and it went from shocking to uncomfortable and just like unpleasant to watch to just boring. And it took about, how long did they do that for? Like 2 minutes or
probably a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Yeah, it just kind of it wasn't. It outstayed its welcome very quickly and just became quite boring to me at the end. At the end, I wanted to skip ahead to see if there was any like after action report. Are we going to get a promo or a vignette after the show or what? Rather than paying attention to what was going on screen.
Yeah, I say this as a guy who, let's be honest, I appreciate some deathmatch wrestling. I appreciate the CCW, but there is deathmatch wrestling is something that too much is never a good thing, and you can get to too much really, really easily. And in this case, it's you're working a guy over with a fork, and the thing is there's not a lot of things you can do with a fork.
You stick it up his bum, but that's a whole other production.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, without like gouging eyes out and stuff, like you're rubbing the edge of the fork into, you're busting him open first up and then rubbing the fork into the cut to create more blood. There's only so long you can do that, and definitely, I would say this was, like I said, 90 seconds to 2 minutes was far too long. It got the point across that they were basically torturing Phoenix, and that Melissa Santos was forced to watch because, you know, Melissa's got a thing going with Phoenix, and of course, Marty the Moth Martinez has a thing for Melissa. And I felt like the match maybe ended a bit earlier, which would kind of make sense because the finish was a tad sloppy. Made me think that maybe something went wrong there, but that's why you should probably have Plan B ready, which really should have been Aerostar coming out to make just the save, because you could quickly move on and get going, because Aerostar, as established earlier, is Phoenix's buddy. He's betting his money on him to win the tournament. He's also a time traveler, so he should know that this is happening, and should probably have made the save. So, sloppy ending to the show, and I don't even mean like in the sense of you want the good guys to win at the end. I'm fine with the heels winning at the end. It's just you like you said, you go from shock value to disgust to boredom with deathmatch wrestling really quickly. Or if someone looks like they're dead, you go to like morbid concern, which either way is not a good ending to things. The match itself, fantastic work. These two guys are really, really good. They worked a big man, little man match a lot of the time. And the beginning, of course, with Marty the Moth, working Melissa, we'll put it that way. That involved giving her a sandwich.
He's halfway through announcing Phoenix, and he's got this Aztec Pride lunchbox, which I think everybody should own. And he pulls a sandwich out of it. Like he kind of fumbles around and doesn't like disguises what's going on, and you're wondering what the fuck. And I kind of caught a glimpse of it. And I'm like, is that a sandwich? Is that like a legit sandwich in that thing? And it was a real sandwich.
Pastrami,
real lunch in there. I believe you are correct. And he took a small bite, and then she was halfway through announcing Phoenix into the ring, and he just jams the sandwich right in her face. It was so funny.
And it did like Bad Strikers. Oh, she just appeared malnourished.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the match itself was great. The intro was great. The storyline continues between Marty the Moth really Marty the Moth going after Melissa Santos and Phoenix kind of being caught in the middle in a weird way.
I'm wondering where they're going with that because, Mariposa said, she's made you weak and I will show you the better way to go or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's kind of...
So I'm wondering if they're just going to torture the two of them and then whatever.
It's kind of weird. They've kind of lost track on this story. It feels like it's gone backwards from where it was. Like it started off fine. Marty's stalking Melissa, blah blah blah. Melissa has a thing for Phoenix.
It's fine.
We're fine. We're good with that. We're good with that. Well, it's a creepy storyline, but I mean, in terms of the logic, it's fine.
It's fine. He's done it before. We're used to it.
Well, he has done it before. He's been doing it the entire time. But then they had him attack Mariposa, and nothing really came of it. She kind of attacked him and tied him up, and said he was weak. And now she's helping him try to get her. I guess.
I don't know. Like, see, that's the part I'm confused. Like, is she just trying to Because he said even there, like, he's jamming the fork into Phoenix's head for 93 minutes, and he did scream out "I love you" like 3 times at least. So
they also did a lot of destruction of Phoenix's mask. So the season is officially Lucha Underground season. Phoenix's mask has been destroyed and he's bled.
That's correct. So yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I'm a big Marty the Moth mark because he does virtually everything excellently, and I'm sure that there are things that they're hiding that he's not good at.
Oh yeah, he's realistically speaking still a relatively green wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
There are definite shortcomings to his technical game, but he plays to his strengths. And it looks really good. Like, he has enough strengths that he can put a good match together if you let him.
Yeah, exactly. I would really be interested to see what he could do on a New Japan show, or I guess if New Japan wasn't interested, he could go to Pro Wrestling Noah and get kicked in the face a lot.
Ooh, Marty the Moth versus Time Bomb.
And Marty the Moth versus Kushida.
That too. Ishii.
No, because that'd just be brutal.
I'm just not opposed to it.
Marty the Moth versus Yano.
Ah, there you go.
All of the hijinks. Good. Every hijink known to man.
That is a good idea. Or, Naito. Naito and him could have a good match.
Could be. Or, dude, that would be great, because Naito would be like, I don't give a fuck.
I do not give a fuck about your creepiness.
And Marty the Moth would, like, his character would have no choice but to be totally intrigued by that. Just kind of,
like aroused.
No, he would just be like, Naito would do his thing and flop down on the ground and, poke his eye open, and Marty the Moth would probably laugh and clap and try to, like, maybe do like a headstand to kind of check out what he was doing. Are you
suggesting that Marty the Moth needs to join Los Ingredibles de Japón?
No, I think that it would be interesting because they try and recruit him and he just wouldn't get it, and there would be problems, and that would be the entertaining part.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of good stuff. Anyways, bit of a bad ending to the show, but otherwise really, really good. Looking forward to next week, obviously, because we're going to get probably 3 more matches in the Cueto Cup.
Yarp.
And set up whoever is going to end up facing Phoenix in the next round.
Yarp.
And also set one of the other quarterfinals. And then kind of just done an interesting one. They did 3 matches here, so they've actually kind of desynced the tournament a little bit. So we're going to get 3 and then 2. A bit weird.
Yeah, they'll probably they have to set up something else because there's going to have, they're going to have one...
Oh, yeah, probably something between Sexy Star and Taya.
Well, are they going to do the semifinals and the finals in one night, or are they just doing the finals in one night?
I assume it's going to be split into two nights because, remember, at the finals, Rey Mysterio is going to face Mundo.
Right. So they've got some matches set up, but they want to set up a couple more. Therefore, there will have to be... I mean, they may just do two or 3 matches for the Cueto Cup next week, and then whatever's left with.
Well, it'll be 3 next week because you got to keep it you got to keep the people who are facing each other on roughly the same schedule.
Yeah.
So it'll be 3, and then it'll be 2, and then we'll move into and probably in 2 weeks' time it'll be the 2 night plus probably something between Taya and Sexy Star.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe something with what other storyline do they kind of got going right now?
Do you have anything
that doesn't involve the tournament? To be clear, there's plenty of storylines.
Yeah, and I'm wondering where Prince Puma storyline. Like, is he now officially off their TV? Do they still have more storyline for him?
Well, they've I believe filmed all of season 3, so he's not done until the end of that.
Yeah.
So I assume there's some descent into really, really darkness involved in that.
One can hope. And we don't have any Pentagon Dark, so we need some Pentagon Dark.
Pentagon. Oh well, he's in the tournament though.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. So he'll be wrestling either next week or the week after.
See, this is what happens when we don't have tons of episodes to just binge through. We just watch them.
It's true. That was the one advantage of us like watching season 1 in like a week.
Yeah, and season 2 over the course of 9 years because you were totally avoiding me the whole time.
Was it not nearly 9 years? I mean,
roughly 8.25 years.
I mean, I would like to say we haven't known each other for 9 years. That would be a lie.
It's actually 11. That is a lie. Yeah, that is correct.
But yeah, it was definitely not 9 years. Just
Hear
saying.
that? He says he wish he didn't know me for that.
Oh, that's a lie.
It's
a glorious day would be that.
That's correct. There's a lot of, can you believe these idiots? What the fuck's, what's wrong with these people?
Pretty much. Well, I mean, it was the same day I met Chris Fitch.
See? Told you.
And Chase. And Jeremy.
I mean, Jeremy's just coming. He's just weird.
He was a bit weird. His departure from the MMA scene was a bit weird. Anyways.
It was weird.
We're going to cut it here and get off of Byron's lawn.
I just trimmed the verge.